right, so episode 63 with Andy Campollo Esswein. But before we get started, just some messages. So we are a member of the Globally Ballin network, and you can check them out for your original sports content. Details are right there on the screen. Take a screenshot or you take a look at the description. Also, do not forget. So we carry on. Follow us on social media. Same username, WTHAW podcast. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Dance moves
TikTok, we're on
coming.
TikTok.
I don't know if the dance moves are gonna come yet. Maybe Enrique can help us or Andy.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna
then
have to have a dance. TikTok.
soon. Episodes are on the YouTube page of Globally Ballin. Subscribe. Hit that bell button. Never miss an episode. That is where you can also find our sister shows. Speaking of our sister shows, we have the Hang Time podcast. And oh, by the way, medyo excited ako. Spotify. Everything is on Spotify. So check them out right there. So if you're on the go and you can't access YouTube, check them out on Spotify. And then we carry on right now. Sister shows Hang Time podcast with Denise Dinsay for your volleyball kwentuhan. Bok Morado is the recent episode following his teammate Chu and Giga. And we have an eternity of basketball. Relive the golden era of Philippine hoops with Noel, Charlie, and Sid. And again, this episode is sponsored by our buffet. You have here New Era, your finest headwear. Follow them at New Era Cap PH. Chops to Go branches in SM Bikutan, SM South Mall, SM North EDSA. Our Fratelli for your soulful cereal milk ice cream. Hinuluban Farms, delicious coffee, healthy adlay, support local. You also have Judgy's Delights for your breakfast snacks. I love their peanut butter. And then last but not least, Cuts Apparel for our uniforms. Give them a follow on social media at Cuts Apparel PH. They have their biking polos and their new golf line coming up too. So
New
what's
golf?
up, guys?
Cool.
Golf is new. The golf, there's something new. So Enrique is our sixth man is back.
Woo, Enrique! You should have a shirt. Where's your shirt? You don't. Claro has a. There you
cuts.
go.
Oh, nice. I think that was my Christmas gift to Enrique.
You
But
don't have the icon though. You don't have the.
We'll
The
get
Muppet. Well, our friends say it's called a Muppet, but I think I love it.
We'll get
all
there
right.
eventually.
So anyway, guys, so we got another goalkeeper to help us interview another football player. But so shall we bring in our guest, guys? So we have Andreas Campollo, midfielder for United City FC, former Philippines U22 international. There you go. Andy, welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Kamusta,
Hi,
Andy? You doing good?
Yeah, mabuti naman, ikaw.
Nice. Okay naman.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Kakain pa ako mamaya. Salamat. All right. So anyway, how's it been for you guys? As of late, UCFC, you're coming off a group stage appearance in the AFC Champions League, and it is the first time we had a Filipino or two Filipino clubs play on the highest level of Asian club football.
So for the whole team and for me personally, we're all hyped about the Champions League because obviously it's the highest stage in Asia. So we were all very excited. The only problem I think for us was that we weren't as prepared as the other teams, as like the Japanese or Chinese team. Or the Korean team. They were in the league, and we had most of us had like an 8-month break, and we us individuals, we try to do our best to be fit, but you can never compare the fitness level of like when you play full 90s and if you just go jogging. It's a different kind of fitness. So we did our best, and I think if next year if we will be back in the Champions League, I think if we have a better preparation, that we have chances to get through the group stage. Also, I must say we had one of the strongest groups, so that was also for us. It wasn't easy for us, but if we have more preparation, then I think anything is possible.
Can you be? Yeah.
I feel like
Go, Rico.
that's such a bittersweet thing to have the toughest group because you're playing with the best clubs in Asia,
Yep.
But at
Yeah.
the same time you're playing against them. You see the difference sometimes in preparation and in in quality.
Yeah.
But there's so much to learn from that. I feel like. Is that how you guys
Yeah,
felt
of course.
during that whole time?
Sorry.
Is that how you felt like while you were playing against all of these big clubs and these big players? Did you guys feel like you were learning so much?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, of course, we felt like. I mean, I cannot speak for everyone. I can just speak for myself. And of course, we kind of felt like. Well, I personally, I felt like that. Each team that we're playing against, they play in like Japanese, the J1 league. They play against Iniesta, for example. They're like really professional, and we're just. I don't want to say a small team, but we're in the beginning still. We're not there yet, but it doesn't like when we played against them, for example, it didn't make me feel like I'm a small player or something. It just makes me aim for higher goals. And as I said, that it's like a motivation for players to play against these teams, so we can kind of compare ourselves where we're at the moment, and it's just how can I say this? It's just motivation for players. So we get better and we always aim for higher goals.
Claudia?
Yeah. Okay, so Andy, what your last name is? How do you say your last name?
Esswein.
Esswein. Okay. And so, how's that? What's your background? If for those that are just getting to know you, how Esswein? That's how you say it. Esswein.
Yeah, right. Esswein. Basically, that's my German last name. Comes from my dad. Esswein kind of means S comes from Essen, which means eat, and wine means wine. So the drink, like the alcoholic drink. So it kind of means eat wine. And it doesn't really make sense, but that's just that name comes from my dad's side. And in my Filipino passport, I have my mom's name, her maiden name, which is Campollo. I actually, after I signed for United, they asked me what name I wanted on my back, and I was thinking of putting Campollo on it, but I might do that next year. So I of just want to bring back my name, Esswein, and then next year I want to change it to my mom's name because I always take, I also have pride in the Campollo name. So I also want to like bring that name up in the Filipino football scene and in the whole Philippines,
Wow. So if you change your jersey, people were like, "Who are you? Wait. Who?" They look at the jersey name like, "Who are you? Are you like the twin? Are you like the brother?"
Yeah.
No, I just want to piggyback from what Enrique said. You played in almost the highest level in the AFC, and did you expect to be part of it? Did you expect the style of play?
If I expected to play or if I expected
the game, was it very were you prepared to play against them?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I expected them to be very good, but the thing was we played against them, and when we played against them or when I saw them on the pitch, I still felt like that we are not as much behind. Like we can actually, like if we're fit, if we have good preparation, then we can be on the same level almost. But obviously they're very good. They're like especially that Japanese team Kawasaki. I remember going into halftime and just players were looking around like they're crazy good. Like there was different level. But yeah, it's a good experience, and we all learn from it.
Very good experience. I think Claro, myself, we were like watching at night just to get, staying up late at night or in the afternoon to just watch it. And we were hoping for a score. We were hoping for a game, but it's the fact that you even played in that level will improve the Philippine football, I believe.
Yeah,
Claro?
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We had so much joy, when Philippine football clicked in 2010. We're like, wow, we're far off from AFC Champions League, and happy to say 11 years later, here we are. We have the Philippines represented on that stage. But for you, Andy, personally, are you happy with the way you're able to take advantage of like opportunities the coach gave you? I know that you were bothered a bit by some injuries, but you were still able to get decent minutes throughout the group stage.
Yeah, well, first of all, I was very happy to be a part of the team because last year around that time I was with no team, and that's when I kind of started realizing that I have to really go for it and like don't, how can I say it? Like I have to really push through like all what is it called when you have hurdles?
Trials or hurdles?
Yeah,
Yeah,
difficulties.
right.
Yeah, difficulties. Yeah.
Right? So it really made me push hard, and I worked hard for it. And once I got the opportunity from Shreki, he told me that he wanted to sign me. Then I took that really serious, and I worked hard for it. So obviously, every player wants to play, and I didn't expect myself, or I expected myself to play. That was my personal goal. It's not that I expected me to be in the first 11 the whole time, but for myself, I set the goal. I want to play every game. So when I got to Uzbekistan, I spoke to the coaches, and they were very happy with me. It was just that I haven't played for a long time professionally. So the first game I was on the bench, and the second game, luckily I got some minutes, and then the third game. I was supposed to play actually, but the training before our game, I got injured. Right, last minute in training, I tore my MCL and I kind of damaged my meniscus a bit, and I had to go to the hospital for an MRI. And to that injury came that I got infected with COVID. So unlucky for me, the Champions League. That I only got to play a couple minutes, but it was still a good experience just to be there, just to have my name there on the sheet. And yeah, I mean everything happens for a reason. So I guess maybe next year.
Yeah,
Again.
100%, no doubt. But we're glad that you're well. We've been seeing your updates, and we see that you're doing great. But let's show them, like you did say, everything happens for a reason. And we're speaking off air that you were connecting all the dots from your stories as a kid, making your way to the Philippines. But let's turn back the clock. Like, why did you play for football? Like, can you tell us your story? I know you're Pinoy, but you grew up in Germany, and you played for different teams, and then you connected with Shraki. What were the steps, the many steps you had here? Yeah.
From the beginning, right from the beginning.
Yeah, we have all day. Don't worry.
All night.
Okay. So yeah, basically, I grew up in a football family. My dad played football. In Germany, everyone plays football. It's just like
True.
here with basketball, I guess. So yeah, my dad played football, and my brother, who's 4 years older, he also played football. And when we were both, like when he was 5 years old, he started playing football. And after that, he became better and better. So he transferred to better teams, also to Bundesliga teams. He played for Claro FC, which is the second Bundesliga team, where also that Filipino left back played, Dennis Tagara.
Yep, that's him.
He played. He actually played with him. Like they were together in training. And so I saw my brother playing football and going to better teams and playing against big teams. And that was always, my brother when I was younger was kind of like my idol. So I always wanted to do the same thing. So when I turned 5 years old, I also started playing in a local football team until I turned 14 when I transferred to better teams, which was called FC Astoria Waldorf. It is founded by Dietmar Hopp, who also founded the company SAP, and that is also the guy who is investing in Hoffenheim. So that was just like they had like a cooperation. So when you go to to my former team, to their facilities, they have crazy facilities. It's just like you go to some really big team in Germany or in Europe, because they have so much money pumped in by this guy that the academy, the first team and the second team, every team basically has their own building with locker rooms and all that.
Wow.
A couple of natural grass pitches, artificial pitches. Then the second team, they have their own stadium. The first team, they have their own stadium, and they only play in fourth division. But their facility is just very, very good. They have a gym, they have a doctor, a physiotherapist, they have everything there. So that's where I kind of got my football education until until U19, because after U19s I transferred to another club. Also, don't want to say sponsored, but in this club was also money pumped in by Dietmar. That club was called Waldhof Mannheim. They now play in the third division, third Bundesliga, and they have a lot of local homegrown talent that now play in Bundesliga or even abroad, like Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who now plays for Inter Milan. He also played at my club, and afterwards he played with my brother together in the same team in Claro FC. So my football education was from those both teams, and it was pretty good, because in the U19 we played Bundesliga and we actually played against like the biggest teams, Bayern Munich U19. When I played there, I was 1 year younger than the rest. They were U19s and I was actually U18 still, and we played against Bayern Munich. And I remember that year they bought a player for 2 million euros in our age, and we were competing against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also that son of Mehmet Scholl, if that rings on your,
Does it ring bell?
Does it say something? Yeah.
Enrique?
Mehmet Scholl, he was playing for Bayern Munich. He's still in Bayern Munich. He's doing something, but I'm not sure what. So I was playing against his son and against Mauricio Gaudino, who played 4 days before he played against us. He played full 90 minutes in the Champions League with the first team. So that was a great experience.
Claudia?
So, yeah, you saw the team that you played in was the person who did SAP, like the IT.
Yeah, right.
Wow, that's
So
huge.
the SAP company is basically in that same town village, because it's just a small village. But since he kind of founded it, that village, they have a lot of money now. So the whole facility there is just really, really good. And he wanted to start with his local football team. So he started with Waldorf, where he was from, but then continued with Hoffenheim. So and also Waldhof Mannheim, my other team, he's investing in the youth academy only, because the first team, they don't want him to invest, because fans in Germany are just crazy, and they want tradition. They don't like teams like RB Leipzig and all that. So they were against it, because the fan culture of my previous team, which are now in third division, is really crazy. They got once relegated because of bankruptcy to the fifth division. And even in fifth division, they had 30,000 people watching the game.
30,000 people watching a third division game.
Yeah, that time it was a fifth division team. Fifth division. Yeah, now they're in third division. Every game is sold out. They have crazy fans.
Crazy passion, and then one way or another, like, you're involved with this. We see you could hang with the big guns, the big names. You show like that, you're up there, right? But I want to show you something from your youth days, Andy. It's in mute because it's in German, but we're hoping that you could tell us like what this video's trying to explain to us. So there you go. So do you mind breaking down, what is this? This is you? How old? You're like a teen?
I was like 13, 14, 13, I guess. And that was actually for FC Astoria Waldorf, my first team, playing against the Waldorf Mannheim, against that team that I transferred after. And that was in the ENBW Oberliga, which was at that time I was U14, and that was like the second highest league in my youth, in my age group. So we played against them. It's already like a really high level. There was only one league higher above us, but they have this video format, ENBW, where they record every game, and also a lot of other players they played there. Like if you type in on YouTube, Serge Gnabry from Bayern Munich, he played there as well. So they have like the same interview. Timo Werner, Joshua Kimmich, they all played there. So it's a really good stepping stone to grow as a player.
Okay, great stuff. But before we get to Claudia and then Enrique, when you were playing at that level, did you already say, hey, man, I can go pro, I can pursue a career in football? Was that in your mind already at that age?
Well, I always had that in my mind, to be honest, because I saw my brother playing for good teams, and I saw them doing stuff on the ball, like tricks. And when I was 4 years younger, and I already could do the same tricks. The only problem with me was when I was younger, I was overweight and I couldn't really run. So I had to work on my fitness. I always believed in myself. Let's just say it like that. I never doubted myself.
Wait, you mentioned that you were a bit healthier. I can't say like fat, healthier then. How did you change your thoughts on nutrition and all that?
So basically, I was playing for a selection team, the state selection team. And I was the only player at that time that was playing for a local team. All other players were playing for the Bundesliga team. So I was just accepted there because of my skills, because of my technical abilities. But then when I got older, there was one training I remember when the coach came up to my parents, to my dad, and he was like saying that I can really play football. Like I'm really good. The only thing is if I want to be at that selection team still, I need to work on my fitness, because now as you grow older, you also need to be fit. And after that training, my dad told me that, and I was always really determined and committed to football. And at that time, it took me 1 month to lose around 11 kilograms. At that time, I only ate chicken breast at night with no carbs, nothing, just chicken. And I was running every day.
Wow. 10 kilos in 1 month. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
And I was 13, 14. I was really young and I was really overweight. That's how you can imagine. I was fat. But I could still do tricks on the ball. So I was just, and at that age, I was still scoring goals. So I was just standing around, and as soon as I got the ball, I just did some feints and tricks, and then I scored. So yeah. But as you grow older, you need to run and work hard. That's what I learned.
Enrique's like smiling a lot.
Yeah,
do you relate?
It's a little bit. I mean, part of the reason why I stayed as a goalkeeper is because I have asthma. That, and I was also slightly overweight when I was younger, so I didn't run. I didn't like to run. I didn't run at all when I was a kid. At that age, 13, 14, that age is so important when you're young, because that's when you learn so much. I find that when you're that age, from 14 to 16, that's when you get like a basic foundation of who you are as a player. So I relate really hard. I think maybe if I ran more, I might not have stayed a goalkeeper. Who knows? Maybe I would have been a striker.
Yeah,
You'd be competing with Andy.
Me before, because I didn't want to run. I wanted to be a goalkeeper, and I tried a couple of times. But then my parents and the coach has been telling me you cannot be a goalkeeper because you're too good on the ball. So just stay outside, and that's how I became a midfielder. Because before I was a striker, but then as I grew older, I didn't score anymore because I was just passing and didn't really try to shoot, and that's how I became a midfielder basically.
Definitely. I think midfielders really do have to have the best technique of the team. If
You
you're
have to run.
yeah, like
It's either that or you have to fight like crazy. You have
hard.
to run and get the ball, because that's what I learned. Because in this level, especially in Asian Champions League, even if you think you're good on the ball, there might be some player from, I don't know, Japan or Korea that is as good as you or even better on the ball, but then you just gotta outwork them, and that's when hard work like how do I say this helps you a lot. Yeah,
That's where you start to ace it up, which is your hashtag. But we're gonna get with the hashtag later too within the show. So
right.
Oh God, yeah.
hashtag ace it up. All right. Yeah.
All right. So
Claudia.
Andy, when Clara was telling me about your background, you mentioned something that my eyes lit up. I was like, oh my gosh, really? So I just wanted to show you
It's Andy and the Big Guns. Remember, he plays with Big
Andy and the
Guns.
big. He's an Arsenal player, right? He's apparently he's your buddy.
Yeah, right. So his nickname is Theo, by the way, because his real name is Sead. So this guy, he played with my brother at the same team, and our parents, they were really close. So my dad and his dad, they had like every Friday or every 2 weeks they had a beer together, and we always stayed in contact. And we also went together to Croatia, and we wanted to go to Bosnia to his family, but at that time the weather was really bad, so we didn't go to Bosnia anymore. But we know each other since kids. Since he was 12 maybe or 11, and I was 8, 7, because he played with my brother in Hoffenheim and in Karlsruhe SC. And then after Hoffenheim, my brother transferred back to Karlsruhe, and he went to Stuttgart and then Schalke, where he became pro. But that's also for me, when I saw this guy, like I know him since I was a kid. And now he's playing for Arsenal. He played in the World Cup against Messi. He played Champions League against Ronaldo. That's also when I realized that anything really in life is possible as long as you work hard, because he's just from the town next, the neighbor town, and you can see, if you see someone that you kind of grew up with going really big places, World Cup, Champions League, then that's also motivation for yourself. So
Wow.
I always look up to him also, because if I have questions in football, because because he's a left back, and when I signed for United, they asked me if I can play left back, and I said yeah, as long as I play left back wherever you want me. And as soon as they told me, can you play left back, I messaged this guy and I was like, can you give me tips, advices how to play left back? So
Perfect guy to ask,
yeah.
if you ask me. Someone playing in a top league in Europe. Yeah. We got another photo. It's also your buddy. It's your Kuya. It's your Kuya and Seiyu. How old are they here?
Right. Well, I think they're around 12, 13. On the left side, that's my brother Kevin, and on the right side, that's Theo from Arsenal. That was when they were around 13, 12, maybe 12 years old. I think maybe that photo is even in Croatia.
Oh wow!
On vacation, maybe, or playing a game, playing a tournament.
No, on vacation. We're on family vacation together. His family and our family.
So you guys are really
Yeah. Does that mean, Andy, that you support Arsenal?
Well, I watch the games sometimes. I'm not a fan really, but I always watch the games where he's playing at. When he was loaned out to Schalke again, I watch the Schalke games. I'm always interested in how how the results are if he plays. But I'm not a really big Arsenal fan. I would say I like Schalke more than Arsenal because the fan culture in Schalke is crazy. I went to the stadium there. He gave us cards for the VIP ticket against Borussia Dortmund, and Borussia Dortmund have crazy fans. Schalke, they have crazy fans, and they're rivals. So we went there, and when you go to that stadium, you get goosebumps.
It's more of you, of course, supporting your buddy more than the team, of course, because you guys went through thick and thin
Aw.
together. Yeah.
I was hoping you were gonna say you were. I'm an Arsenal fan. I just want to throw it out there.
I don't think
I'm-
now's a good time to be an Arsenal fan. So
No, it's not. Not. They won the whole last game, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right, he was playing actually because before he hasn't been playing a lot recently, and they were losing. And now last game he played and they won.
Oh, so see,
That's the formula.
That's the formula.
That's the formula. Enrique.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
seeing all of that, like I think Germany for me, from what I've seen and the different players that I've played with, and different academies that I've seen people come from, I think actually Germany has the best football factory, if you can say it like that, because the way Germans train is very different. Growing up, one of my first goalkeeper coaches was German. He did his academy training in FC Mainz, which is a pretty big club in Germany. And the way he trained,
FSV,
yeah, the way he trained us was ridiculous. I don't think I've ever trained that way ever again. Like, I would go home and I just couldn't walk for a day. But we wouldn't do any kind of like weights or anything like that. It was all jumping and diving and all of that. Yeah. So coming from that, how was your transition to like coming here? Because I always find that such an interesting thing. I think I asked the same thing to Quincy because I find that such an odd transition, because I've seen also people have a hard time because of the way that the game is played here. It's not as technical, nowhere near as technical as in Europe, and the pace sometimes can be really unforgiving.
yeah.
So how was that for you?
Yeah, that's right. When I first came here in 2016, when I first signed for Global, that's when I kind of had a shock in training because football was so different. And I must say, football in Asia is not for everyone. Even if you play on a high level in Europe, it doesn't mean that you can play in Asia because the football here is just really, really different. You have to adjust to it. When I first trained here, I'm talking about 2016 now, Global, it was more about, the game was a lot of running and fighting. In Germany, it's more about keeping the ball positioned, and it's more tactical and also technical. Like when you have the ball, then there are times where you can actually breathe and have your time to relax for a bit. But here in the Philippines, when I first came here, I just had no time to breathe because it was just going back, forth. Because as soon as you get the ball, that was before, we didn't try to keep the ball, we just go forward. And it took me maybe like 3 months to adjust it. And yeah, but I think it's really not for every player, Asia. It's not that easy.
No.
I get what you mean with the breaks where you just keep the ball in the back and you try to find your way with the back line. You're about to say something, Enrique?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that I feel like people underestimate, like fans underestimate the differences. Like playing in the Philippines is to playing in, let's say, Germany. Like you can be very good here in the Philippines and obviously also be very good in Germany, depending on how you play here. But you can also be not that big a player here, but be more effective in a different country, because of the style of play. Football is a little more complicated like that, I think, more than people realize.
So it really depends. Like you gotta fit like into a glove wherever you go.
Yeah.
Just because you fit here doesn't really mean that you fit there. Europe or Asia,
That's right.
vice versa. You name it.
the basics are all still the same. I mean, it's
Of course,
like,
yeah.
you still have to know
I
how
agree,
to
yeah.
pass and shoot and things like that.
Okay, so it's the basics, but more the latter stages that's vital. But let's take a quick commercial break or a halftime break right now. So just some messages, guys. Again, this is episode 63 with Andy Campollo Esswein, and we're a member of the Globally Ballin Network. And do check us out for original content. Link is in the bio, or we can refer to that screenshot right next to me. Follow us too on social media. WTHAW podcast. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more stuff and updates from Who the Heck Are We? Our
If we
video or
get
full
more likes,
episodes. What will
Claro
happen?
will
Will we
dance. Claro will dance if we get more likes.
Let's make Jay dance because he's not here. So for our episodes, subscribe, hit that bell button, never miss a beat. That's where you could get our full episodes again. So again, never miss out on the go. So you can also check us out on Spotify. Just search Who the Heck Are We? You can also That's where you can also access content of our sister shows. Speaking of sister shows, we have the Hang Time podcast with Denise Insight. Bok Morado was her recent guest, where they just spoke about how things have been for him with the pandemic and transitioning to work for hoops and eternity of basketball. Relive the golden era of Philippine hoops with Noel, Charlie, Sid, JP Mercado. Thank you for our sponsors for keeping us going and paying the bills. New Era for our caps, finest headwear in the world. Follow them at New Era Cap PH. You have Chops to Go. Their branches are check out their branches: SM Bikutan, SM South Mall, SM North EDSA, Hiniluban for your delicious and healthy adlay and coffee. You also have Jollibee Delight, another fellow local company for your breakfast snacks and yummy and delicious peanut butter. Our Fratelli, your soulful cereal milk ice cream, perfect for cooling down in the Philippine heat. And then you have Cuts Apparel. Thank you very much for our uniforms. Make sure to give them a follow on social media at Cuts Apparel PH. Now, all right, back to the show. Claudia, I think you had something. Yeah.
Yeah, Enrique mentioned that there's a difference between the training in Germany and then coming here as well, and then the style of play. What were your is it like in culture shock when you came to the Philippines, knowing that basketball was the number one sport? How did you manage to adapt to that? Fans on the stage, even on the fifth division, and you come here, you only get like how many number of fans on the seats. So how did you adapt to that?
Well, when I first, because I always followed Filipino football since I was a kid. Because I also played Football Manager, and I actually also discovered some Filipino football talents on Football Manager before when I was like 10, 11 years old. And at that time, I think it was 2010, 2011, Philippine Ascas, they got really, really big. So they even went to a camp to Germany, and I watched them in Germany when they played against Darmstadt, and I saw a lot of the young husbands before, and Anton Del Rosario was there in Germany, and I saw them play in Germany, and the stadium was full. It was full of Filipinos. So at that time, I thought the Ascas and football in the Philippines was really, really big. And we watched it because my mom, she had Filipino television in Germany. We kind of watched some games. We watched a game against LA Galaxy and some other ASCAL games. And at that time, the stadiums were always packed. So I didn't know that when I arrived at Global that there were no fans really. But it wasn't too bad actually because there were still people in the stadium, and I appreciate everyone that comes to the game. And it's just also you gotta consider that in Manila we played at some weird times sometimes during daytime, and then people they work, and then at night there's traffic, and Manila is just it's just hard to get people in. But when we played in the provinces like Davao or in Ceres, Bacolod, there were always people. So it's not too bad actually, and it's growing. It's growing.
How was it for you? You're in the sidelines. You're watching the Ascals that might have been their build-up for the 2014 World Cup qualifiers. but that was in the year 2011, I think. How is it for you? You're on the sidelines. You're watching Anton, Phil, and then you
At that
see them
well,
on TV.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, at that time, I only knew, to be honest, I only knew a couple players from the Oscars. I was there because my brother actually he was in contact with the Philippine Oscars to play for the Oscars because my brother and Patrick Reichert and all them, Manu Ott, they were at the same because they scouted in Germany, right? So my brother was also in the squad, but the problem with my brother was at that time he had no Filipino passport, and I was actually in direct contact before with Coach Weiss, and I was the one that introduced my brother to him through email, and then I was maybe 15 years old, and then when Weiss met me in the Philippines or in Germany, he was like, I thought you were an agent, you're an old guy or something. I didn't know you were 15 years old. Because I was writing like formal emails, like I was an agent, and I was introducing my brother to him. And yeah, so that's how I kind of got to know the Philippine football scene and all that. And I also was in contact for myself for the teen Oscars at that time, U15 it was. But I had the same problem. I had no Filipino passport at that time. I just got my Filipino passport 2016. Because it was kind of a long process because we had no Filipino embassy near us, so we had to go to Berlin, which is 8 hours away, and then my dad he was working, so it was not as convenient just to go Berlin and then do your passport and then go back. So it took us time.
Quite a trip. But one thing we learned here, to add to Andy's football skills, we see you can be an agent too if you're looking at opportunities after football, but that's still a long time from now. But you were telling me before.
Maybe,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, maybe after football I can be an agent, like a proper agent, because I actually enjoyed doing this because I did it for my brother. I did it for myself, kind of also before, and I also have taught a couple other players as well.
So you really have it. So we see something potentially in the future, still a long time from now. No, but you're saying you
Right.
connected with Shraki, or it appears to be Kuya Shraki for you because you guys connected, and Shraki helped you eventually get to the Philippines. How was that story of making the jump to the Philippines? We see Shraki right there. You and Shraki in the photo.
Yeah. Right. So basically, at that time, I was playing U19 Bundesliga, and on the side, I was working a side job at JD Sports. Maybe you know JD Sports. I was selling shoes because I was still in school. I was playing U19 Bundesliga, and I worked on the side to earn something. And I somehow, before the North Korea game, the World Cup qualifiers of the Oscars in North Korea, a couple weeks before, I just thought to myself, I'm just going to message Shreki because I really wanted to be a part of Philippine football. I wanted to play in the Philippines because I feel more Filipino than German, so I always wanted to settle down and live in the Philippines. So I saw this kind of as my only opportunity to be in the Philippines. So I just messaged him and I sent him a photo of me playing against his team, Gorta Fürth, because we played against each other in the U19 Bundesliga. So I sent him a photo of me playing against his team in the youth academies, and I messaged him saying that I'm really interested in joining Philippine youth national team and maybe a Filipino football team. And yeah, that was basically it. And then I left it. And then I don't know how many months later or weeks, or I don't know. It took really a long time until he replied, but he replied, and then he said, "Oh, sorry, I just read that message now. Sure, I can help you out. He's going to North Korea. He's having a World Cup qualifier. He's going to speak to someone, and they're going to get back to me." And at that time, I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe that's just she's just saying that. And then, yeah, I was just saying thank you, and went back to school, training, work, and then one day at work, 7, 8 a.m. My phone vibrated. I looked at it, and I had a text message from a Filipino number saying that they're interested in me and I can come for a trial. And that's how it all started, because Shrek, he lit the path for me. He introduced me to, I think at that time it was Ace, and then somehow it went to the brother of Anton Del Rosario, who was at that time from Morocco, who was working for Morocco. So a couple of teams contacted me, and that's how it all started.
Armand. Yeah.
Yeah, right,
he
right,
came
right.
through. He came through. Wow.
Here you
Good on
are.
Shraki.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on you, Shraki. Yeah.
Yeah. But before we're trying to piece things together. You're in the Philippines. You had some stints in Davao, Global, the U22 Philippines. I know it was difficult for you, but you say things are meant to happen, or because it all turns out in the end. But how were these? How was this experience for you playing for those teams, and then the pandemic hit, so it's been a tough time.
Yeah, well, first of all, when I came to the Philippines for the trial, I was supposed to try out for Ceres at that time, for Shreki's team. They told me a date to come, and I arrived on that date. And then after I arrived, I was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Because I was on my own. First time flying alone, first time being in the Philippines by myself without parents. I was kind of lost, honestly. And then I messaged them, and they were like, "Oh, we're in, I think it was Bangladesh. We're in Bangladesh right now. We're having a game for AFC Cup. Just go to Global first, try out there." And they gave me a number of Global. I messaged them, and they're like, "Yeah, just come through training." At that time, McKinley Hill Stadium. I went to the training. At that time, Lee Menton was the coach. I had my first training session, and they already, after the first training session, he told me already that they wanted to sign me. So I think a couple of days later, I already signed the contract. I was really, really happy to be in the Philippines and to get the opportunity to play here, to get my name out. And yeah, at that time I was 18. I was pretty young still, 18, yeah. So
He's a good coach as well.
that was my.
He's a very good coach.
I enjoyed it. For me, the only problem at that time was really, I gotta admit that that's maybe also because some people, some fans, some coaches, they might have a bad image of me. I can't really say anything to that, because before, when I first came here, 18 years old, I gotta just say, I was young and dumb. So I wasn't really, when I first got here, I wasn't really focused as I was in Germany, because obviously I lived in a small village in Germany, and I come to Manila, a really big city. You got so many opportunities and distractions to do something. So it all got into my head, and yeah, I wasn't focused. So I can't really judge coaches or fans that they have been thinking bad of me. But since I am matured now and I'm older now, I really learned out of my mistakes, and I'm a completely different and changed person. And yeah, it was the same thing in Davao as well. I was still young, and I had to make my experiences with mistakes. So now I can say that I've really learned out of them. If you follow me on Instagram, or if you know me, then you know how hard I work for it, and how hard I am still working on my goals and towards my dreams. Then you can say that I really changed, like 180 degrees, a complete new Andy. It's not the same as 2016, 2017 anymore.
I mean, I'll agree with that, because I think I was the same. Not in the same way that, when I was 18. I think Claro will know this from when I was 16. I grew up here, so from 16 years old to 18 years old, when I started playing for Ateneo, I was playing in the UFL at the time. It was the UFL with Nomads, and I was playing a lot of first team football. So, but for me mentally, it was, I was still a child. So moving to different teams, and I don't also like, you can be a very good player, but if your mind's not right, it doesn't matter,
Yep. Yeah.
And I see that with a lot of players here. But yeah, That's really good that you were able to figure all of this
Yeah.
out. And fast forward a bit, it's the first time I think I spoke to you was in WhatsApp when we were signing for Global. Beginning of the pandemic. I think that was the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. Were you already thinking that like this way, like, okay, this is another opportunity to come back to the Philippines and work hard and show everyone what I can do? Were you already like thinking like that during that time?
Yeah, I was, let's say 80%, because the thing was after Davao, I was supposed to sign for a Thailand team. So I flew to Thailand actually, because German coach, my former German coach, he was coach of a Thai team, and I went there, and it was already a done deal. He just said, "Come here, check out the facilities, train with the team," which I did. And last day before transfer window closes, he signed another German player, and so the foreign spot was gone, and so I was left without a club. Didn't know what to do. Transfer window closed. I had nowhere to go because Davao, obviously I let my contract expire. I didn't extend any contract, and yeah, I had to go back to Germany because what am I going to do? So I was that's when I first realized how quick football is. One day you have a contract, maybe you're at the top, and then the next day you're down. You're released maybe. So that's where I realized that yeah, football is really really fast. It's a fast life, and also it's good to, if you earn money from football, to save money, because before I didn't save money really. I was just young, as I said, young and dumb. And as soon as I had my salary, I was looking at opportunities to spend it. Yeah, so that's when I first learned. And then I went back to Germany. I had another trial in Ireland for first division team in the I don't even know what their league is called. Let's just call it Premier League there. Had a trial for Bray Wanderers, and I went there for a week in winter. First time going back from Philippines, hot weather, going in winter. I was not used to winter anymore, really. Trained there, had a trial for a week, but it wasn't really a trial. So that week, it was also pre-season, and we didn't touch a ball. We were just running in the woods. So I was telling the coach, there's no point of me training here or running in the woods if we don't train and if you don't see me touching the ball. So I went back to Germany before we even started training, and was left without a club. And then I had to decide what to do. Do I wait for another, I don't know, 6 months until the transfer window opens, or do I get back to schooling, education, and work, whatever? So at first, my parents, obviously, they said, you go work now, you do this, you do schooling or whatever. But I was kind of stubborn and said, no, I want to do this. I want to go all in football. So I waited for another 6 months, tried to keep myself fit. And I had a lot of agents contacting me that they had opportunities in Thailand, in Malaysia, and wherever, but it never really worked out. Because I must say, the video that I had, my highlight video, isn't the best one. I had to like edit it myself, and the quality is just, it looks like Minecraft kind of. Like you can't even see me. Yeah, so it was really unfortunate for me. So after 6 months, I didn't get anything, and I had to start working. So I started working. Had an office job 9 to 5, and that's when I really kind of felt I fell in a hole, kind of. I felt really lost, because this wasn't the life that I was like. That was not my goal in life, to be in the office 9 to 5. I always wanted to play football because I saw friends. I saw this guy playing for Iceland. I saw that anything is possible. I just got to work hard. And so I had to work because obviously I had to earn money. I still looked out for teams. Didn't find any proper teams that can pay full time. So I played part time, amateur level, just to play. And then when Global contacted me last year, 2020, I was in my second year of work actually. I decided to quit my job, to leave everything behind, and to focus on football again, because I thought that was my opportunity again to prove myself, to do everything right that I did wrong before. I signed for Global, quit my job, and then you know the story with Global. Yeah, it didn't happen. I was basically without income for a year. But I decided not to work again because I said I already went all in now. So there's no way going back. I got to stick to my dream and got to push through no matter how hard it is. So I decided to just work out every day. I was running every day. I was running half marathons. I was going really hard on myself. Actually, I changed my nutrition, my food, everything that I eat. Now I have my food scale. I weigh everything. I have my app where I track my calories, and I actually also lost again. I was actually not fit before when I signed for Global. I was on 77 kilos. And then when I came to Dubai for United, I was 65 kilos. That's 12 kilos. So, yeah, that whole year, basically, I was just training by myself, trying to motivate myself and do the things that I got to do to be fit once the opportunity comes. And then when Global didn't happen, I just continued my work because I was hoping for something to come up, and then Shrekky happened and helped me once again. And
came through again.
Yeah, so it was all worth it, because the thing was, Shrekky actually, I think he saw on my Instagram also that I was working out a lot, and that kind of made him sign me, because in United we want players that are determined and committed to football, you know. So I kind of really fit in that thing, because I'm really, really focused right now. Even now here, I'm in the province right now. I just went to the province just because of training, because in Manila, it was really, really hard for me to train. I was running around in Makati and I got stopped, I think, 3 times by the guard.
I saw your post.
I'm not allowed to run. Yeah. So I decided as soon as the ECQ will be eased up, I'll go to the province, because here there is a lockdown, but it's not as strict. So I was running yesterday and I forgot my mask, so no problem.
Oops! What?
I gotta run back.
Yeah.
About that, no? You changed your attitude, you changed your mentality, you changed your diet, you changed everything. You overhauled yourself in a good way. And I think that pieces together with what you're telling me. Hashtag ace it up. Ace it up. Is it because of ace it up? Is that because it's your initials? Andy Campollo Esswein? Or ace it up, you want to do well in whatever you do? Because you are where you want to be now. You put yourself in a good spot in UCFC, playing Champions League football, and we know you want to go for the league title again for UCFC.
Yeah. So yeah, ace it up. Ace basically has 2 different meanings. It's my name, my initials, Andy Campollo Esswein, and also attitude, courage, and excellence, because that's what I'm aiming for. Like, having a good attitude, courage, and excellence is just what also describes me a bit since I changed. And that was actually made by Carson, the number one fan. What's it called? Fan marketing.
Yeah, pretty much
guy.
Fan engagement. Yeah.
Yeah, fan engagement. So yeah, thanks to Carson for that.
Shout out, Carson.
So
Yeah.
apparently, so you're powered by Carson Black Magic, I see. But yeah, with that, I know you want to eventually get capped by the ASCOs. That's something we believe Andy wants to do, right, Claudia?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned earlier, which is very interesting. You said that you're more Filipino than you are German, right? You mentioned that probably a couple of minutes ago. What's your dream of playing ASCOs and listening to the Philippine national anthem? How do you want to reach that?
So, yeah, for me, just a short story. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to play for the Filipino national team. And if you have asked me before when I was like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and people have been asking me, do you want to play for the German national team or for the Filipino national team, if you could decide? And I always said Filipino national team. Even though Germany was playing the World Cup and the Filipinos at that time, they were like, I don't know where they were. So, because I'm really a proud Filipino. That's why I try to speak as much Tagalog as I can. I eat all Filipino foods. I just had, because today I've kind of had a cheat day, a bit, not really. But I had a balut earlier.
Woohoo! Woo! Woohoo!
Yeah. So
Balut lights out or lights on? Do you eat balut with the lights on?
it was. Yeah, I even took a video of it and I sent it to my dad because he hates it. and it was the big one. It was the big one as well.
Sulit.
So yeah, solid naman.
Sulit naman.
Yeah. So I just try to be as focused as I can be and as fit as I can be. Because when I was in Dubai and in Uzbekistan, I was really at the peak of my fitness level. I have to say, I was never that fit. That was really my peak. So I want to get back to that because after COVID, it really kind of, I'm having a hard time right now to get back to that fitness level. Because when I look at my times when I jog, obviously I have my watch on and then I see how many kilometers I run and how fast I was. When I compare it to before, it's not as good as it was, but I'm trying my best to get back to that level. I think, I'm not sure, maybe that's still because of COVID, or maybe it's also because I was in quarantine for a month, so I couldn't really do anything because in Uzbekistan, I was quarantined for 2 weeks and then I flew to the Philippines. I was another 10 days in quarantine. So I couldn't do anything for like almost a month. And I was just eating hotel food and not my own cooked food that I always weigh and track. So I think maybe those two things that kind of threw me back a bit. But I'm on a good way, I think. I was just running today. I was running yesterday. So I'm just trying my best to be fit as soon as the league starts. And then if I'm fit and focused, and if I play, then I think it's just time will tell when the call up will come. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for.
We hope to see you play for the ASCOs, and I want. Do you know how to sing the national anthem?
When I was a kid, actually, I knew the whole anthem. Now, not really anymore. I only know Lupang Hinirang and then finish. I don't know.
You'll remember again in no time. Yeah.
Yeah, if I stand on the pitch with the Filipino flag on the chest, then I
imagine that. Yeah. Go.
I feel like even us, like we sang it every morning or every Claro, every Monday, Wednesday.
Every Monday
Friday.
and Friday, yeah. But they didn't bring. It wasn't glorified like you're representing your country.
No.
Nah, man.
Yeah. No.
I can't tell you that I know all the words to it. Like.
Yeah, but the same thing is for me also because I don't even know the German national anthem. So.
Oh.
It's
okay. So there's a balance.
Yeah, it balances out.
But but in Germany, anyways, like you don't really sing the national anthem. Like you learn it once in school, I think, and after you've learned it, you never sing it again. So, that's why. Yeah, that's why when you see the German national team, no one really sings. They don't know.
And all the things that they were
learned it maybe in second grade.
All right. Well, go ahead, Claro.
One kwento lang. I know the German national anthem well because of F1. I can't sing it. I can hum it. all the beat and everything. German, Italian, just because of F1.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask a national team question, Andy. Because I know Claudia was talking about it. That is like your extreme goal. Play for the senior
Yep.
national team. So every day when you're jogging and you need to motivate yourself, are you just telling yourself, I want the league title with UCFC. I want Champions League football. I want to play for the Ascos. Do you just keep saying that in your head every time to
A
motivate yourself
mantra.
to work out?
Kind
And yeah,
Mantra.
Kind of, yeah. I have my motivation routine because there are days where I really feel like I don't want to train. Where I'm just like yesterday was one of those days. I woke up and I felt so tired. My whole body just felt really, really fatigued, kind of. Um, but I still trained because if I don't, the thing with me is because when I started running when I lost weight first at 13 years old, it kind of became, I don't want to say addiction, but when I don't run, I feel regrets. I need to run because I feel like if I don't run today, someone else is going to run now, and then he's going to be fitter than me. So it's kind of a competition that I have with myself.
Right.
So I just push myself every day, and then when I run, I like sometimes I really talk to myself. I have my playlist on Spotify where I don't really listen to music. I listen to some motivation speeches where they say like if you feel like quitting, then blah blah blah. So that's my kind of routine. And when I was in Germany and I signed for United, I actually when I was running, I spoke to myself really, and I was saying that I need to be the fittest, like not just in the team. I want to be the fittest in in our group. Like I want to be, if I'm on the Korean team, I want to be the fittest in the Korean team, you know. So I just wanted to be the fittest on the pitch, which I believe I was. I was really really fit. So that was kind of my motivation. I always speak to myself on. I vision myself in big stadiums. Like when we played in Uzbekistan, we were in this big stadium. Unfortunately, there were no people in it because it was behind closed doors. But when I was running in Germany, I already imagined being in the big stadium and playing there, and then being fit, and just when other players in the 80th minute when they're tired, I can still run, you know, and maybe score. That's what I was imagining while running, and that's what kept me pushing. Yeah.
and that is how you ace it up. And you just talking about that motivation to work out, to win everything you have in line. That makes me want to get up and work out. Yeah, but
Yeah.
for PFL, you're putting yourself in a prime spot for PFL to get into that starting 11, contribute to UCFC's defense of the title. Because I think we don't have to ask. You guys want to win the league title. You want to go back to the Champions League. So
For sure.
are you guys doing anything different as a team? Because you know what, you're training individually first. So how is it in the team? Are you all pushing each other to get better day by day? Are you able to see what your kuyas in the team are doing, like Shraki, to help you get better and learn whatever you got to do as a team on the pitch?
Yeah, well, I mean, right now everyone I think is doing individual stuff to be fit. Once it starts, everyone is fit. And when we train, for example, in Dubai or in Uzbekistan, the level in the team is already good. So, and everyone wants to play. So the competition is really high. The level is high. And that's what kind of improves us as players because everyone just wants to play. Everyone's giving their 100% every training. And we have really good individuals in the team. So I think that's what kind of makes us the title with Kaya. Kaya is also very good. But I mean, we don't just have a full first 11 that is good. We have our substitutes are good. Then the reserves are also good. So we have a deep squad. So that's what makes us, I think, a bit. Yeah, that's what makes us. That's why we win the title.
Great mentality.
I like the confidence.
Yeah.
We have Enrique is a challenger, but I just realized. Challenger pala. So perhaps you wanna pick Andy's brain, some
Well,
footballer talk.
for us, realistically, like our goal isn't to win it all. You know, our goal is to try to make it into a Champions League spot. You know, if we decide to, if we manage to win more, and we'll see how it goes. I think Andy will think about it this way. It's when you're playing in a competition, it's you take it game by game and see how it goes from there. So, you play with a few guys who I've played with. People like who are young. People like Will Grierson and Jordan Jarvis. And they're younger than us. So how do you? I've had to do it. So how do you try to motivate them or inspire them, or do you try to motivate or inspire some of these younger players to try to get to your mentality and your way of thinking, or are they already built that way?
Well, with those players that you just mentioned, actually was working out with them in Manila. So I was just messaging a couple players if they wanted to work out, because Pinty and Jordan and me, we know someone with the home gym, and then we just used the home gym. And for example, I was running with Jordan, and I tried to push him to push through, even because when I'm running, I always want to. I have a really fast pace, and I want to get better every run. I want to get faster. So Jordan was not really used to it, and when he got kind of tired, I just told him to just go push through it. It's just one more round or whatever. So that's just what I'm not really forcing him to do it, but I'm saying, I'm telling him to push through if you want to get better and improve. I think who I was talking the most to before was Cholo in the training camp and in Uzbekistan, because Cholo he's a good player. He has a big potential. It's just, young player, they need some experience. And I was just telling him, for example, that when we had training and then maybe he did something wrong and then players been shouting at him, I was just telling him after training, just don't listen, but just don't get it to your head. And next training, you go again. Because I had this one training where I completely messed up. Really, those days where you want to pass a 2-meter ball and it just goes that way.
Yeah.
I had this day, and Trekkie really got so mad at me. And I was also mad, but I was not mad because he was mad at me, because I was mad because I actually tried to do my best, but it just didn't work out, nothing. And in my head, it's just, even if things don't work out, just work hard. And then at the end of the day, it will still, people will still see it, and they will see your effort. And then maybe the next training, if things work out and then you still work hard, then that's how you improve, and that's how people will see, oh, that guy, he really wants to play and he really works hard, and then now things work out, he needs to play. So that's what I've been telling Cholo before. But I think everyone in the team, they already have a really good mindset. I mean, if they wouldn't have a good mindset, they wouldn't be in the team.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting thing that you bring up, Cholo Bugas, right? Because you've played with his brother, with Paulo.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How are they different as players? Because for me, obviously they play different positions. The way they play is very different. But how are they different for you? Because when you were playing with Pau, he, I've played with him before, a couple of times, and he's a very, very determined player. He's the type who will get mad at you. He's the
Interesting
type who will shout
question.
at you. Is Cholo? Do you see the same thing with Cholo Bugas, who's far younger?
Well, at first I didn't even know that they were brothers. I just I realized that in where was that? I think in Uzbekistan, when before the game we had video messages from our family, motivation messages, And then I saw Paulo Bugas. I was like, that's your brother? I didn't know it. But yeah, I mean, Paulo was, I don't really, that was so long ago. I mean, Paulo was also a good player and he was fast he was very fast. But I think Cholo, because he's younger, he has so much potential still. Like
He's learning
Cholo
from his
actually,
brother.
because right, and then he's learning from the United team, from Shreki, from from all the other players, and he's still 19. He has a lot of chances still to go abroad, maybe. And his brother, I don't know, is he still playing?
As
I
far
know
as
he's
I know,
coaching. I know Paulo's
yeah,
coaching now.
Yeah, he's not playing it.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, so basically Cholo has still chances. He has a lot of chances to go abroad and then improve there as well, and also get his name out of the Philippines and also in other countries in Asia. So Cholo, if he works hard, because Cholo is also he's determined. Like when I went to the gym in the training camp or in Uzbekistan, Cholo was there also. So he's working.
Gym buddies.
Same buddies, yeah.
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 So yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for you, as like understanding now that with your passion for being an agent, it's good to also have those kinds of
Aye.
players in
Hi,
mind.
yeah. I know you. You could go. You
Yeah.
could play overseas.
Yeah.
I
And
know
then-
you. I can help you there. I write your
Yeah,
email.
in the future, in the future, maybe yes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we see it's nice you have stuff pretty much in plan. You have that possible direction, but we know you have a long career ahead, of course, an exciting one. We are looking forward to it. But when Pinoy fans will get to see you play on home soil, what will you bring to the table, Andy? Because we see you're listed as a winger and a central midfielder. So where do you think you'll be used by coach? Will we see you sending in crosses? Will we see you making plays? What should we expect from you?
I think since the training camp, I see myself really on position 6, defensive midfield, because since I got really fit, actually should be as a midfielder, I was able to run full 90s without getting tired really. So I was actually winning a lot of tackles, and yeah, I see myself as a center mid when in the PFL. Not as, because the thing is, I'm not really a winger. Like I'm not the fastest player. I can just run for days. I'm not really fast. I can just run.
Endurance
And,
is there.
Forrest Gump. You
Yeah.
remember Forrest Gump?
So
Just keep running.
yeah. So as soon as I get back to my fitness level that I was before, then I see myself on the defensive midfield position. And it depends on the coach, the way he wants me to play. If he wants me to play left back, right back, or whatever he wants me to play, I'll play it. As long as I play, I'll be happy. Just not
Exciting.
a goalkeeper, please.
Yeah. Enrique, goalkeeper now.
You guys have good goalkeepers in your team. You don't need to worry about it.
Exciting times
Yeah.
ahead. Andy, thanks for sharing that. We'll wrap up our formal conversation, but first, maybe you want to invite people to watch upcoming matches, to support your team, UCFC, and maybe you want to thank people who've continuously supported you to get to where you are today. The floor is yours for a message.
Yeah, I would like to invite everyone who's interested in Filipino football, and especially in football, support Filipino football, make the league grow. And also, I wanted to say thank you to all the people that supported me since 2016, and my family, obviously, my friends, and I hope that we're able to see each other soon in the stadium. Hopefully, the pandemic won't last for too long, and I hope that we can see each other.
Awesome. Exciting times, Andy. So thank you very much. So let's head to the quick fire round. We just ask you a question. You just give your answer straight up. No need to explain. It's just a matter of naming things. If you want to explain if it's controversial or an unpopular answer, the floor will be yours.
Okay.
So start with me. Your favorite restaurant?
My own cooking.
Okay. Your will that be the chicken breast? What dishes exactly?
Well, it's always 100 grams of pasta and 500 grams of vegetables, and then 250 grams of meat or fish.
Sounds
so
good.
healthy.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You have 3 teammates who can join you. You're gonna cook for them. You have like a feast. 3 of them and you. They can be from any of your teams, from like your youth days all the way up to UCFC. Yeah, you name them. Waldorf. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'll take Pinty.
Okay. Anthony Pentos.
Pinty. Pinty.
Okay, you Quincy's on your list. So I think you're fine, right, guys?
Sorry.
Quincy's on your list. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
No,
Pintos?
Pinty.
Yeah.
Let's take
Then-
Pinty, Jordan, and Dylan De Broeker.
Oh, okay. There you go. My bad. I thought I heard Pinty and Quincy. So Pinty, Jordan, Dylan. All right. So that's your squad. And then let's just say you have to go. You're visiting Germany for the holidays. You get to bring one thing from the Philippines. You can be as creative as you want. You don't have to worry about fitting it into the airplane bag. Anything.
Okay. Balut.
Good idea.
Because there's no
Yeah,
balut in Germany.
That goes to my quick question, my quick fire. You're done already,
go
Claro?
ahead. I'm done. Perfect segue.
Okay. So if it's a life and death situation, Andy, right? Will you, and to save your life, will you eat 3 baluts or sing the Philippine national anthem?
Wait, that's a lot of cholesterol.
I know you. Yeah, so 3 baluts.
I would eat the 3 baluts, yeah, because I'm not I don't know the full lyrics of the national anthem yet.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet. You'll remember it.
Not
You said
yet,
you
not
knew
yet.
it. So don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. If you were to eat any kind of Filipino food, what would it be?
Yeah.
Aside from
Lechon.
balut. Oh,
Lechon.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. It's all about food. Nice.
Can I join? I haven't had lechon in ages.
Yeah, same. My gosh. Enrique?
All right.
I was actually looking for it today.
Man.
Oh goodness.
Okay,
I
I've
wanna
got a
eat
couple.
lechon.
I've got a couple of
Okay.
questions. What is the weirdest thing that you've had, like eaten, in Germany?
In Germany, probably kangaroo or crocodile.
Actually, like
That was in an Asian restaurant though. Yeah.
Kangaroo? I've eaten
Kangaroo.
kangaroo.
I've tried crocodile
Kangaroo.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Which one do you think is better, kangaroo or crocodile?
I think kangaroo.
Really? Isn't it like hard to chew?
It's
Yeah, kind
Really?
of, but
Yeah.
it's a bit. But the thing is, I don't really remember how the crocodile tasted, so I just said kangaroo.
Okay, good answer. Because Enrique's wife is Australian, so you're fine. Claudia's from Australia too.
yeah. I love it. Kangaroo is good. It's just very
It's got a
gooey,
bite.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
cheery.
All right. My
You
last
good,
question.
Enrique? Yeah,
My
okay,
last
go ahead.
question is, if you had one, I think I asked Quincy the same. If you had one pair of football boots from, whenever in your life, if you had one pair of football boots to pick, and that's what you would wear for a long time, which would you pick?
Do you remember the F50 Ali Zero from Adidas, the pink one.
Ali Zero.
The one from 2000. Is it blue and
I
pink or
think
is it?
2016.
Oh, like the
I
one
had
with
them at my Global Times.
the ones with the lots of colors. Like it's
Yeah,
like blue and pink.
they're like pink. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always
Alright.
find that question interesting because, like, if you look at Quincy's answer, he picked like something leather and soft, and like very goalkeeper like.
Uh,
For Andrew,
yeah.
it's F50. It's for runners.
So that's
Yeah,
your
I just like them
choice.
because they're very light.
Yeah.
That's your choice for your boots. How about your gear, Andy? I think you love your Joma Sports. Is that right?
Oh my.
Yeah, right.
Homa.
Actually,
Enrique, how do you pronounce it?
It's a
in
Spanish
Germany,
movie.
we just say Yoma.
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 Yoma. Okay.
So yeah. So actually, I have it here right now. This is my jacket. So before I flew to Dubai, actually, the day before, I got offered a sponsor deal, and I actually had a couple to choose. I think there were like 4 brands that I could sign with, but I decided to sign for Yoma because I just like their clothing stuff, their running stuff, and like how, because Hoffenheim is also Yoma, Villarreal also has Yoma, and their training
Okay.
kits and everything just they look amazing. I also had I could have signed with Ulsport, Hummel, and what was the other one? I don't even remember. Umbro.
Umbro. Yeah.
But
Oh gosh, Umbro.
yeah.
All
But I
big
decided to
brands.
sign for Yoma.
Old school. Umbro's old school, man.
Yeah. So the Yoma stuff looks really cool, and I had like an exclusive deal with the boots because I'm kind of I have problems with wearing different football boots. So they told me that they're okay with me wearing Adidas shoes when it comes to playing football on the pitch. I still got some football boots with Yoma as well, but I just like my feet. They just Adidas is made for my feet, I think. So I have Yoma running shoes, but my football boots they're from Adidas. But that's okay with the sponsorship deal. So there's no fine or penalty for that.
So long
Great
as they're
stuff.
okay, yeah.
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 This
They're all
is
good brands.
it's all
I
good
think-
brands, yeah.
Yeah, they're all good brands.
Maybe you got an extra jacket there you can send to us. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll give it away. Like
We'll give it away.
like on a contest, like a trivia contest.
And you can sign it.
And you can sign it.
Yeah.
Well,
Give it to your fans.
I actually I could do that. The thing is just I can only get Yoma my stuff from Germany. So it's either I get it shipped here. I don't know how that works. So I'll fly back to Germany when I go for vacation and get the stuff, and then I can get some extra stuff to bring here. I already brought a lot though.
It takes a couple of months.
Yeah, it takes some time.
My preferred
Yeah.
my preferred glove brand is Ulsport. So I have it shipped
Abroad.
from Germany.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to come
It
here.
takes about 2.5 months.
Wow.
You gotta get your
Yeah,
stock.
it's pretty long.
At the end of the day, though, you get the quality you're looking for, whatever product it may
Yeah,
be.
for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, I think that does it. Andy, thank you so much for your time. We enjoyed this talk. We hope that we wish that it could go on forever. Yeah. So we hope you don't mind. We're just going to put you backstage and we will end the show. And thanks again for swinging by. Who the heck are we? All right.
Hold on.
Thank you. Salamat sa inyong lahat
Salamat.
for having me.
Bitta,
Walang ano man.
is that correct? Bitta. Dankeschön.
Bitte. That you're welcome. Or walang anuman is in German.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Multilingual. Yep.
I'll put you backstage, and
Yeah.
think.
Okay. So I just got an idea from our talk. So this A
Yeah,
sit up
same
thing
here.
of
I
Andy.
think I know what you're talking about too.
This A sit up thing of Andy, eventually that can be his That can be as what do you call it? That's the diet service where you have a nutritionist, your meal plan. That's what I have, and then you
Your
call it Ace
seven
It Up.
the
Andy
7 day
will do
meal
it.
plan.
Yeah, yeah. Lose weight in 7 days. Andy can do
Yeah.
something like that, and then he'll also be your coach. So, coach, dietitian, he'll cook it for you, and it's on your doorstep. That's an idea I got from seeing the discipline of Andy and transforming himself. Yeah, Enrique.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always find it really interesting to see how other players, who are in a similar position as me. Of course, with Andy, who was in that whole global fiasco, where I first started talking to him, and we were talking about that whole thing. How to bounce back from that, because it is, I'm sure a lot of people who were part of that will tell you, like, when you experience that, you think, why am I even playing still? Why am I trying to achieve this dream that almost looks impossible? So it's always nice to see when people bounce back from that and all of that. That's really good.
Yeah, that's amazing that you said that, actually, Enrique. But what I like, Clara and Enrique, is this is, I think, the third person that played overseas or came overseas that they believe that they feel that they're more Filipino than they are of wherever they come from. Like Quincy said that, and I think
Yep.
two other people said it, and it's so nakaka-proud. It feels so good that they want to go back home, diba? And play for the Philippines, and thinking the Philippines is not really a football country, but yet they still want to play for the Philippines and play and represent the country. It's amazing. I just find it's proud.
Definitely, I feel like that stigma, you can call it that, a stigma of thinking that, just because
Yes.
they're coming from overseas, they're not Filipino, and it's like, no, like they don't have to come here and play for the Philippines. They want to. So
Exactly. I mean, coming like before again, like the fifth division in Germany, it's all full, and then you come home, there's not much. It's like wow, and yet they still say I'm Filipino. That's why. So we just have to break that stigma, the thinking of it. Yeah.
And all our fellow Pinoy friends who are born overseas, they have the same right as us
Yes.
to have Filipino citizenship or to get
Correct.
that passport. So
That's right.
I think that's where it ends, right? They have
That's
the same
right.
rights as us. They have the same right to call themselves Filipino wherever
That's correct.
you are born. So
I mean,
yeah,
correct.
that's it.
anything good that happens for the Philippines, I think, happens to everyone who's Filipino. So
Yes.
Precisely. That's
whether
right.
it's the Ascals or Gilas or volleyball,
You name it. Yeah.
Weightlifting.
Yeah. Exactly.
we're all proud of it.
That's right.
True. True.
Okay.
All right, so let's call the show. I enjoyed that one. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, shall we head to the end?
All right.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you very much for watching Who the Heck Are We? And our podcast is a member of the Globally Ballin Network, so do check them out for original sports content. Screenshot that page, or if you're in audio, check the link in our bio to access all of that. Let's carry on. Follow us on social media too at WTHAW Podcast. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And our episodes are on the YouTube page of Globally Ballin. Subscribe, hit that bell button, never miss a beat. So again, search Globally Ballin. Check the content of Who the Heck Are We? If you are on the go, you could also check us out on Spotify. Just search Who the Heck Are We? Other sister shows are also available right there. Just search them up, such as An Eternity of Basketball and Hang Time. Also have, again, Hang Time with Denise Dinsay as one of our sister shows. So head over there for your volleyball kwentuhan with the different personalities. We also have An Eternity of Basketball with Noel, Charlie, Sid, JP Mercado. Relive the golden era of Philippine hoops. Also, thank you to our sponsors. We got Chops to Go for a yummy chicken, chips, and milk tea too. In fact, so thank you to their branches in SM Bikutan, SM South Mall, SM North Eds for sponsoring us. New Era Cap PH2 for the finest headwear. Hiniluban Farms for your coffee and Adlai. Support local, just like Georgie's and Our Fratelli. Georgie's Delights, they give you your fantastic breakfast snacks. Our Fratelli, they give you your soulful cereal, milk, ice cream, and it was fantastic. Cuts Apparel too, again, for your biking button-down polos and your golf Campollos too. Give them a follow at Cuts Apparel PH. Thank you, Cuts, also for our very own uniforms. Do you need company or sports uniforms too? You can get them custom made again with Cuts Apparel PH.